Moving over to the defensive side of the ball, and unlike the offense, the leader of the defense does return, and defensive coordinator Derek Odom. The
Yeah.
2023 unit finished second in total defense in the Mountain West, first in pass defense, and in the Mountain West, 16th overall in all of college football. Let's kind of start with the guys up front along that defensive line. They lose Trey Smith to Arizona, Noah Lavulo, and Jay Kakiva to graduation. They return Soani Toa and Quincy Lakio, among others. How did that unit look this spring, and did anyone stand out for that defensive line?
I mean, in general, the defense in general just dominated this spring. That was the narrative that was coming. The coaches were telling me, and specifically among the D line, Soane was the guy that Derek Odom highlighted the most, who's kind of stepped up and just been that stalwart on the D line. So yeah, that's definitely the guy. But in general, that whole D line looked really good this spring. So yeah.
The moving to the linebackers, they lose leading tackler Brian Parham, who's off to Washington, but they do return second leading tackler Jordan Pollard and Teniela Latu, among others. How did the linebacking group look this spring?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I've even talked about with Coach Craig Stutzman, is how those guys were challenging the defense and just flying all over the field. And those names you said, Jordan Pollard and Tanalia Latu, and Jordan Cobbs was another guy. Those three were just kind of all over the field, it sounded like, at practice, during scrimmages and stuff. And they were on the spring game too. So those are the linebacker cores who I would expect this year.
The defensive backfield took some losses as well, losing Trey Jenkins, Chase Williams, Kenyon Reed, and Andrew Jenkins to graduation. Mm-hmm. They bring in Larry Turner Godden from Texas and Robert Rahimi coming over from Liberty. How did those guys look this spring, and did anyone step up for the defensive backs?
Yeah, so with those two guys, I guess there was a little bit of a learning curve, you could say, learning a new defense. It's just more like learning the verbiage of the defense, like, oh, this is the coverage, and we call it this here. That's what Coach Dio told me, Derek Odom. But as a whole, they also look good. They're like a veteran group. Guys like Michael Dansby, who's kind of like stepping into that leader role. DJ Harvey is another guy. And then, and then Larry Turner Gooden looked really good too, transferring in at the spring game. He actually had a pick six in that game off of Emmett Brown. So that was like one of the highlights of that game. So maybe he's a big play guy. I don't know yet. We'll see. Hopefully he can be.
All right. If you had to pick a defensive player to have a breakout type season in 2024, who would that be?
I was actually going to go with Larry Turner, good, just because of that highlight play. I like to see that someone make those plays, but I could also say someone like Jordan Pollard in the linebacking core. He had a really good season last year, I believe, and yeah, I could also see someone like him being that breakout player too.
Spartan Nation on your feet.